Ranking NBA records broken in 2020-21 so far. Each of these 7 history-breaking marks both prove the high volume of talent in the league right now, and that the deep-range shot continues to revolutionize the NBA. Stay tuned to see which new record set this season I think is most impressive at number 1. Quickly before that, as you saw if you're an Instagram follower at DFlowHoops, links in the description, go follow me there. But for the third and final Community Speaks giveaway, Ona Ebodaga, Big Man 1, and Kartik Sath chose these hats, and I'll be mailing these to them over the weekend. The other 2 members of the top 5 didn't get in touch with me, but Ronto and Nicholas just let me know either your Instagram or Twitter down below. I'll send you a hat of your choosing as well. There's no comments or competitions this year, but there will be more comments or giveaways to come on this channel because this is the best basketball community on YouTube, and I'm trying to give back only some of the love that you guys consistently give to my videos, thanks to each and every one of you. Keep in mind, 6 players are going to be featured in the honorable mentions before number 1. Having said that, number 7, James Harden snapping the Nets franchise record for single-game assists. This happened in Harden's first game in a Nets uniform, which is incredible considering the Nets had an all-time great playmaker in Jason Kidd for 7 seasons. But by posting a monster stat line of 32 points, 14 dimes, and 12 boards, the Beard also became the first player in NBA history to register a triple-double in their debut with a team. We haven't seen Kevin Durant in the lineup enough to see how good the Brooklyn Nets can be, but Harden's experience making the finals next to KD in 2012 should bode well for the Nets in 2021. This kind of record broken proves that Harden is more than purely an ISO scorer. The man has an extremely high offensive IQ, and he'll be able to mesh well next to Irving and Durant. Number 6 is Fred VanVleet scoring 54 points, which was the highest single-game scoring total in the Toronto Raptors' 26-year history. Along with passing DeMar DeRozan, Terrence Ross, and Vince Carter to break the franchise record, VanVleet also passed NBA legend Moses Malone for the most points ever by an undrafted player. Fred's proving that he's well worth the $85 million extension Toronto gave him last offseason. This month so far, Fred's been on fire, and along with Pascal Siakam turning it around after being mentioned on my most disappointing player list, he's been a main reason for the Raptors beginning to win games lately. Toronto's 10-6 in their last 16 games, and Fred's Raptor record provided a lot of momentum in Toronto's turnaround. Number 5, Stephen Curry making the most consecutive free throws in the Warriors' 75-season history. The Chef made 80 straight after getting fouled and heading to the line. This total was good enough for Curry to pass Warrior legend Rick Barry, who infamously took the granny shot when he stepped to the charity stripe and held the previous free throw record of 60. But there's no saltiness whatsoever for the now 75-year-old Rick Barry, who congratulated Steph on Twitter. Also, Curry passed Reggie Miller for second in all-time three-pointers made, and now only trails Ray Allen in that area. Steph has also come up just short of the Warriors' franchise single-game scoring record of 64 points, also set by Rick Barry. That record for Barry is still intact, as Curry came up just short against the Blazers recently with 62 points, but Steph's Warrior record came up 17 free throws short of Michael Williams' overall NBA record of 97 straight free throws. Don't be surprised if Steph breaks that record before his career's over. I mean, this man is the greatest shooter on planet Earth. Number 4, the Dallas Mavericks setting the all-time NBA record for the largest lead entering halftime. This one's insane. Playing without Kawhi Leonard and Marcus Morris, to put it lightly, the LA Clippers got smacked. Trey Burke hit a 3 from the corner near the end of the second quarter, giving the Mavs a ridiculous 77-27 lead going into the locker room at Staples Center, the largest halftime margin since the introduction of the shot clock in 1954-55. The Mavs played 10 guys in the first half. Every single one of them had a plus-minus of plus 20 or better. The previous NBA record was a 47-point lead the Golden State Warriors had on the Sacramento Kings back on November 2nd, 1991, but Luka and the Mavs set it at a clean 50. The Mavs defeated the Clippers 124-73, which also set the Clippers' franchise record for the most lopsided defeat in their history. Number 3 is Terry Rozier shattering the NBA record for most three-pointers made in a season opener, dropping a career-high 42 points. By making 10 bombs from distance against the Cleveland Cavaliers, Charlotte's starting shooting guard passed reputable shooters like Ray Allen, Kyrie Irving, Danny Green, and Danilo Gallinari to set the league best mark, and this just goes to show that when the shot-creating Rozier finds a rhythm, he's almost impossible to cool off. Terry's the perfect pure scoring option at the 2 guard next to LaMelo Ball for the Charlotte Hornets in the backcourt. Number 2, the Milwaukee Bucks surpassing the Houston Rockets to set the all-time single-game record for three-pointers made. Houston set the record last year with 27, but fueled by Jrue Holiday, Chris Middleton, Dante DiVincenzo, and Brook Lopez, Giannis's supporting cast was able to seamlessly crack that mark. Against the Heat defense, who was leaving them open and disrespecting them, the contending Bucks went off from deep, with 12 different players hitting at least one three-pointer for them. Most surprisingly, the Antetokounmpo that contributed to this record was Thanasis and not Giannis. But the core that Milwaukee surrounded the Greek Freak with seems to be making up for his lack of a jumper. The addition of another all-star caliber player in Jrue Holiday is making the Bucks a legitimate contender this year, especially considering they already had a top 2 to 3 player in Antetokounmpo and a legit option next to him in Middleton, so who knows, maybe luck will finally be on the Bucks' side these playoffs and they'll get through the East. Before number 1, honorable mentions to some marks that didn't necessarily crack a record, but were still historically great nonetheless. Firstly to Luka Doncic, who has more 30, 15, 10 triple-doubles before turning 22 than any other player in league history. Also mentions to Russell Westbrook for passing Magic Johnson for number 2 in triple-doubles. LeBron James becoming the first player ever with 1,000 straight games of scoring at least 10 points. LaMelo Ball becoming the youngest player ever to record a triple-double, and Zach LaVine/Kobe White of the Bulls becoming the first teammates to make 8 threes in one game. Number 1, Bradley Beal passing Michael Jordan for the longest streak of 25-plus point games to start the season since 1976-77. Whether you're a fan of the Washington Wizards or not, you have to respect Bradley Beal's loyalty to the organization that he was drafted to. Even though the Wizards are at the bottom of the standings, Beal's doing everything he can to keep them in games, and is straight up putting the team on his back. It's not leading to wins, but being in the same class as Michael Jordan in any respect is an honor, and with how he's been beasting, he deserves to be mentioned among the GOAT, as Beal's leading the league in scoring by far this year. On January 6th, Beal tied Wizard legend Gilbert Arenas for the franchise record in scoring by posting 60 points against the Philadelphia 76ers, and Beal's passed Agent Zero in total 50-point games. His historic night also saw him become the 3rd Wizards player ever to score 30 points and a half in the last 20 years, after piling up 32 at the break on 11 of 16 from the field. In total, Beal's 60 came on an efficient 20 of 35 from the field, 7 of 10 from the three-point line, and 13 of 15 at the charity stripe. I don't know about you, but I want to see this prime version of Bradley Beal playing on a contending roster, and am truly admirable and stunned by his commitment to his current squad in Washington. Wizards fans are lucky to have him, but let me know what you think has been the most impressive record broken so far in 2021 down below. I respond to every comment. For NBA rankings, predictions, and stories, please subscribe and hit notifications. This was D-Flow, and I'll see you next video.